Very pretty. Greetings, Wanderer. This is Atlas here, and welcome to the Void. Happy New Year, by the way. It has been yet again another travel, 365-day travel around the sun of millions and millions of miles in the vastness of the universe. One more, and hopefully it's good. There's going to be plenty more in the future, you know. Today I'm going to be reacting and breaking down a song called Priestess and Her Profound Mercy from the Goblin SLAYER original soundtrack. This is the actual winner of one of my latest polls that I did in my Patreon. And as you can see here, Goblin SLAYER won just by one vote over Time Scar from Chrono Cross. So it was a very close call, right? But before we begin, I would like to invite you to listen to my latest track, which is a BERSERK inspired track called Conceived in Blood, which is actually the song that you have been listening in the background of the intro of this video. So if you like what you hear so far and you would like to hear the full song, I'm going to leave it in this card right here, but also it's going to be in the description of this video. And also, of course, check my new merch. This is one of the shirts that I have available in my merch shop, okay? You're going to be able to find it right here in this card, but also the link to the shop is going to be in the description of this video, right? So with that being said, onward. All right. This is going to be Priestess and Her Profound Mercy from Goblin SLAYER original soundtrack. Boom. Very pretty. That's cool. Yeah, the strings just took over the leitmotif of the track. And now the piano is just doing the chord progression in an arpeggiated kind of way. That segment is full of tragedy, guys, I gotta say. Now it's like in a lower octave, I think. By being a lower octave, it sounds darker. Or more sad. My apologies. Instead of going to a lower register, it went for a higher one. To have a more dramatic effect. And now it's coming back to the intro, basically. But with the strings. Yeah, it has a resolution. It's very interesting, you know, that last part, I mean the resolution of a track, because it ends in a kind of a higher register of a note, you know. It doesn't go towards the lower register of, you know, the chord progression and whatnot. So it kind of has like this hopeful ending at the end. But I'm going to be talking more in depth about those things in the breakdown, so let's break it down. Okay, so in this first part of the breakdown, I am going to be, you know, noodling around a little bit with the guitar and playing the leitmotif and probably the chord progression that is you know, going on while the leitmotif is playing, and see where the song leads me musically, you know. I might improvise here and there. Maybe I'm not going to play it like 100% accurate, but I just want to get a feel of the song, right? So first I'm going to play the leitmotif, and then probably I'm going to go into the chords themselves. So yeah, I think that for the most part, like, it's kind of hard to say, you know, because the song certainly has this, at least for let's say for the, yeah, like at least this longing, melancholic sort of, you know, feeling that it has on it, but at the same time, like what I think it's the scale here, it's like, it sounds very major to me, but for some reason it has like this darker tone. I don't know if it is the way it is performed or whatnot, but it's probably either that or these notes right here that makes the whole scale have that darker resolution, like right here. Because it's like yeah, like those two notes, like when the melody kind of resolves at the end, and yeah, those two ending or resolutions that those two variations have at the end, it's like it's what it gives it like the darker tone, but because for the most part, like yeah, it sounds like doesn't sound like really dark, but I suppose that the way it is composed and very specifically this two ending notes is what gives the leitmotif the kind of the darker tone that it has. Okay, so now for the chord progression, I think it's something like this. So yeah, as you can hear there, it's, you know, a very basic chord progression as far as I can hear. It's like A minor, C, G, then goes back to A minor, C, yes, C, and then goes to D. Yeah. And then it has another variation where I think there's an F in there. Yeah, but yeah, it's like and then or something like that. There's an F somewhere in there, an F. Yeah. But yeah, you know, the chord progression is very simple, and the only, you know, like dark chord or whatever, it is a dark chord. It's the A minor, but the rest of them are like major chords. And I guess what's interesting about this, although it's a very simple arrangement, is that, you know, this sounds to me like a major chord for the most part until it gets here, and in those resolutions is where the leitmotif takes a darker tone, but what is playing behind that are these major chords. But when you hear the leitmotif open, it actually opens in this sort of more hopeful kind of feeling, because it doesn't, of course, you're not playing like these two notes that give that darker resolution. So the whole chord progression opens with the A minor, which is, you know, a minor chord. It sounds either dark or sad, or at the very least melancholic, you know, or some sense of longing and whatnot. And it's playing, right? There's not a lot going on in there until you get to this note, but then these two are the ones that give like the resolution of the darker part of it. So it's like it's really balanced in terms of where the story that it's trying to tell. Like, the song is not entirely about hopelessness and whatnot, but there is like a little bit of conflict in the track, with the minor chord and these resolving notes at the end that gives you like the darker part of the leitmotif. But at the same time, you know, it ends on that, but then you know, repeats again on a hope or a more hopeful note, let's say. And that's probably something that is more connected or kind of resolves the entire track, saying like, well, there's hope at the end of the tunnel with the resolution that we hear at the end of the track. Yeah, I just heard the last part of a song, and yeah, it has the like this major chord with this you know, like on a higher register note kind of thing. That sustained note, you know, it's on a higher register for some reason. You know, I'm gonna have to do some research in this regard, but you know, the higher, apparently the higher you go in the register, the more it has that more dramatic effect, you know. I don't know what is it. I'm gonna have to research that in terms of the higher frequency. In the higher you go in the frequency spectrum, the more impact it has or whatnot. Maybe something like along those lines. Maybe it has something to do with you know, the way we perceive sound as human beings. You know, when, for example, when someone screams, a woman screams, for example, it's a very high-pitched sound and it's very disturbing, right? So you catch more attention to, for example, women screaming than men screaming, because obviously, for the most part, men tend to scream in a lower register, let's say, you know? It's not so highly pitched, let's say. So imagine yourself like, okay, this is going to be like a kind of creepy situation, but let's say, imagine yourself, you know, being on the street, and imagine that you hear a man scream first and then a woman scream. Which scream would you say it's more like catching, ear catching, or it's more disturbing? I would say that the women scream, because it's like in a higher, like I said, like a higher register, and it's a higher pitch. So maybe that, and when, you know, for example, when you hear like choir arrangements in songs, you know, for example, I know a lot of people that like, you know, Yuka Kitamura's arrangements in Dark Souls and whatnot. That she really likes to, you know, put her foot down in the pedal for the choir arrangements. You know, when the choirs go in a higher register, in a higher pitch, it sounds like more dramatic and more, you know, grandiose and whatnot. And there has to be something, you know, an actual scientific explanation of why that is. Of course, like an evolutionary psychological reason why human beings tend to be more receptive or something along those lines to higher pitch sounds, you know what I mean? I suppose that has to be that has to do also with babies and whatnot, because, you know, the higher pitch of the baby crying and whatnot is what actually catches your attention. Imagine if a baby would scream and whine and cry in a lower pitch voice. It wouldn't be as ear piercing, and you know, catching as what it is naturally. You know what I mean? So yeah, I know this is going like off rails from what actually I was actually explaining on the song, but at the same time it's kind of connected, because I was talking about the you know, the resolution of the track being like in this sustained, relatively in a higher register kind of sound, and of course with the major chord at the end. It's very pleasant, and it gives you like this signal of hope, let's say. So yeah, this song is very balanced, you know. The composition is very simple, but at the same time, I've said this before, don't be fooled by simplicity. Sometimes it's the best way to compose a song, alright? So I think I'm gonna give this track a silver badge. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and share it with your friend. Also, please don't forget to visit my Patreon, my Ko-fi profile, and my Ko-fi store in case you want to support my work further, and my Teespring merch shop. And of course, ex nihilo nihil fit.